Salams and welcome to another episode of 420 Grams, your favorite footballing distraction from all that's going on in the world today. Joining us this afternoon from various places across the country are Jaideep Basu and Renedy Singh, former India captain and of course currently assistant coach with SC East Bengal. We're talking today, of course, about last evening's game, last evening's AFC Champions League game, FC Goa's second game in the competition, and as those of you who were watching the game yesterday will know, another nil-nil draw, another clean sheet, another solid defensive performance from FC Goa. We're going to be talking about all the key moments from that game, what happened, what didn't happen, how FC Goa played, and of course what this quite encouraging start, quite encouraging entry into the AFC Champions League means for Indian football going forward, one game at a time and all of that. Jaideep, Renedy, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Hope you're doing well. How are you guys?
So far, so good. I'm doing fine. Watched the match yesterday night. That's all.
Thank you, brother. Good to see you back again after we met in Goa. Good to see you here again. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
So let's jump straight into it. Slightly earlier kickoff yesterday at 8 p.m. Versus the 10:30 kickoff that was there for the first game. But same lineup for FC Goa, for Juan Fernando. Playing the same sort of shape, the same general tactics. Jaideep, if I can come to you first, since you said when we were chatting briefly before we started this live, that you have lots of things to say about the game, even though it was a nil-nil draw. Please set us off.
Actually, I have not lots of things to say, not about the, of course, about the game, but a lot of things surrounding the game. I have learned. The result is very encouraging. We are all very happy. You also must be happy. I am happy. Renedy must be also happy that Wahda is a good team, is a Champions League team, and there we have managed to get them and give them. They also came with 4 foreigners, good players. But at the same time, it also saddens me to some extent sometimes. You may accuse me of coming back to the same topic again and again. Or you can say that I'm deviating from the subject, you can say. But I would like to say one thing, that it also reminds me of the India-UAE match, which at least I'm not able to forget for the past few days, because it hurts, it's still hurting me. So this result has proved one thing very clearly. See, I am not saying India is capable of beating say, Japan, Korea, Iran or Iraq. But I have always felt for the rest of the Asian countries, if we play with little planning, if we plan it properly, if we maintain our shape properly, if we do it intelligently, things do intelligently, like if they did yesterday, then we stand a chance of doing a good job, which we have done yesterday. See, so while watching the match yesterday, I found that, see, somebody can always say, Goa had 4 foreigners. So they also had 4 foreigners. They had players from Slovenia, from Korea, from Brazil, from where not, they brought in players. So it was an even contest that way. That if we can maintain a shape there, do a decent job there, and come out with our heads high in the very first attempt, then see, I am saying all these things because it's not losing and winning a match is a part and parcel of any sport, whether it's football, cricket, hockey, athletics, whatever it is. But trying to cover it up with saying that it happened because of this, or it happened because it was experiment, this was that, that is I don't like. So I think it once again exposes the fact that if we do well, if we can maintain our shape, if we plan it well, we have all the chance to stand up against this team. And what happened against UAE was a part of bad planning, downright bad planning, nothing else. Whatever the people see, UAE, Siddhant, we have drawn a match against Wahda 1-1, 0-0 yesterday. Fine, very good result. But these results we have shown it before also. In the LG Cup final against Vietnam, that was, and in Ho Chi Minh City, we were trailing 2-0 and we won 3-2. Ask Renedy. Isn't it, Renedy? Am I wrong?
Yeah. Yes.
So it is not that the Indian footballers are not capable of doing things. They are very much capable of doing things. Only thing, you have to plan it properly, which I give full points to. My compliments to the FC Goa coach for knowing the limitations of his boys. He knows how far his boys can go, to what extent he can take them. He planned his things properly and extracted the best out of them. So we should give credit to the coach.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, so I was at the opening game, the first game in Goa against Al Rayyan, the Qatari side. Former French footballer who won the '98 World Cup with France, Laurent Blanc, he's the coach of Al Rayyan. In the post-match press conference, he was saying pretty much a similar thing, that it seems very clear that the coach, Juan Ferrando, the coach of FC Goa, has done his job with a great deal of diligence and sort of effort, watched a lot of video and prepared his side to deal with the challenges that the Champions League will present, that are different from what they face on a day-to-day basis in the Indian Super League. Renedy, as from a coach's perspective, how do you rate Ferrando's performance, and of course your friend and former teammate Clifford Miranda, who's on the bench alongside Ferrando as well?
I think if you see the result, I think the result shows. I don't have to speak too much about what they have done. I think they still have to do a lot. But then again, what they have done in last two matches, I think they have done really well. But not the first match, but the first match against the Qatari team. If you see, they could have conceded 3 goals in first 20 minutes. We could have conceded 3 goals in first 20 minutes. We were lucky enough. But yesterday, they didn't get any open chance. Al Wahda. They didn't get any open chance, even though Al Wahda were enjoying the possession more. They were knocking the ball well. But in the second half, I feel FC Goa played a better second half, create a better goal opening. We could have gone ahead. And I like the way the coach, Juan Ferrando, and Clifford Miranda have brought in Devendra, the speed that he have shown, and the chances we have created. Brandon hit the post and came back. And after that also, Devendra, he got a chance again. So I feel we were unlucky not to get a goal. But on top of that, except I think the last minute where Dheeraj saved two goals in the last 7 minutes. Other than that, we FC Goa played a better second half. But first half, like I said, it was Al Wahda. I think I have to give credit to Al Wahda. But in the second half, it was all FC Goa. And this is a process that we have to see. And Jadibda was talking about the last match against UAE. But again, I would say, even the same coach, the Indian coach, he drew with Qatar, he drew with Oman. But again, let's not go on the match that we drew. And those players, I think Adil came only for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Adil played the whole match in that match. And yesterday, Adil came only for 5 minutes. So players, the players that it does matter, who all are playing. And then coach was trying few things for the Indian team, and I'm sure that those players can understand also it didn't work. But yesterday we have to give credit to Glenn Martins. We have to give credit to Ivan Gonzalez. We have to give credit to Donaki, and the way our Indian player Brandon has played. Not Romario. Romario has worked hard, but if Romario had a little more technique, I think we could have scored more. So now, defending wise, like Jadida was talking about, keeping the shape, we are doing well. Going front, we have to do more. I think we have got our limited, but if you see that those foreigners and few Indians, even even a Samson, the left side back, he have done really well. But the good thing was even Sheraton, the save that he made, the block that he made, it was fantastic. But foreigners did well, even some Indians doing well, but we will do better, I feel. But then going front, like Romario, the chances that he has got, he could have created more, I feel, on a counter attack. So there are a few things, but I think we are on a right track. I think we just have to work on. It will only get better. But 2 great results, I think. from last match and yesterday's match.
Yeah, absolutely. When we were looking at sort of building up to this, opening, it's the first time ever that an Indian team is playing in the group stage of this competition. We are playing against West Asian teams because the format has changed, because it's now because of the coronavirus centralized locations. It's happening East and West. So usually these are teams which Indian club sides in Asian competitions face much later on in the competition. Like BFC, or when they have gone on a long run in the other competition, the league, the AFC Cup, they have played West Asian teams only in the semi-finals, final, that stage. Here we're doing it right from day one. One of the things that I think maybe first we can do a quick, because there were no goals yesterday, so there isn't that much perhaps to discuss in terms of the 90 minutes of action. But maybe we can do a quick recap of that and then move on to the larger impact that playing these games will have on the FC Goa players, all the young players you mentioned, Sanson, Seriton, Devendra Murgaonkar, Glenn Martins himself is a youngish player. Dheeraj Moirantham, who is part of the national setup and is now first choice goalkeeper for FC Goa. All of these guys, a very steep learning curve for them, and we'll get into that a bit later. What did you make of team selection, Jaideep? Any changes that you might have made to the squad, or you think after the first game, the first draw against Al Rayyan, these boys deserve to come out again and start another game and kind of build on that first performance?
I think the coach did the right thing. He kept his faith on 11, which he very, very astutely chose in the first match. And since they had delivered the goods, I don't think there was any reason for him to change it, and he hasn't changed it. He made necessary changes in the second half. That boy Devendra, who came, I forget his full name. That Devendra. Yeah, he did a very good job. He was very effective, no doubt about it. So he made his changes in the second half. But I think, if you ask me personally, I have a liking for people who stick to a certain number of 11 and keep faith on them. So that is my preference. So actually, since the coach has done it, I find it very good that he doesn't make too many changes. He doesn't get into too many experiments. He doesn't get into. He has a set piece of players, and he has been able to make them understand what he wants. And since those boys have reasonably done well, and given him a decent result, he has kept his faith on them and is going according to them. I think what he has done is a good job. I think, and it is my personal opinion. There may be some other opinion as well.
No, fair enough. And also, so before the tournament started, there was this whole discussion about who will be the 4 foreigners that will make it into FC Goa's final squad for this competition, because the Nogueira and the striker Igor Angulo are the 2 who have been left out of the team. I want to ask both of you, maybe Renedy, you can go first. Jorge Ortiz is the other Spanish player who's playing as an attacker on the right or the left. They switch a little bit. But he has a certain style of play, Renedy. He keeps the ball quite a bit. He likes to dribble. He likes to run with the ball at his feet. Very different in terms of style and approach to the game from Angulo. Now, of course, this is speculation. It's pure hypothetical. But as a coach, how do you see that decision? Because when you're going into a competition like this, you're assuming that your side will be on the back foot, playing mostly defensive football. And you might get the odd chance here and there, maybe from a set piece. In which case, someone who is as clinical a striker, a finisher, we've seen him in the ISL scoring some incredible 1-2 touch goals, not having much of an impact on the larger game. But jab chance milta hai, 1-2 touch leke goal maar deta hai Angulo. So, of course, it's a challenge. But then, because if you have him in the squad, then you have to leave Ortiz out. So you don't have that player who can hold the ball, perhaps be like a target person. So how do you see this thought process and the kind of impact that the players, the selection of the team has had on FC Goa, and the couple of chances that they've had both in the first game as well as the second game? Could things have worked out differently?
So now, Angulo is a very, very good finisher, and we all know that what he has done for ISL in ISL and for Goa FC. But then when you are playing this Champions League for the first time, and in an Indian side, you know that what you have to concentrate on. You know that what type of team you are going to play against. So instead, of course, even though I really respect the way Angulo plays, I really like the way Angulo plays, but then you're going to miss out not only Ortiz. Ortiz is a great player. Both of them have a very good season. And what about, and coach has done a very good thing by keeping Ivan Gonzalez and Donaki.
Oh,
if you move that out, and if you put any player in, it is not going to be as successful as they are right now. So when you are going to play on a counter attack, so you have to keep your defense compact and going on counter. If we're a team from South Korea or Japan where we are going all out attack, then it's very, very important that we have a striker like Angulo. But here, like what we did for the Indian team against when Sunil was not there against Qatar, we drew, right? So then there is so much of running that they have to do, the lone striker. Devendra came for only 45 minutes, but what a run that he had. And before that, Pandita was working so hard, and coach can understand that one person is playing up front. He has to give everything. And they both gave their best without the ball. Most of the things were without the ball running. So if Angulo plays, I'm not, because he is 35, 36, and you're not going to get that running, which you need when you're playing against a team like this. So I think that it's a very sensible decision. Even I'm sure Juan Fernando would want to keep his best striker, best finisher. But when you have to play in these big tournaments or big Champions League, I think it is very important to choose in the right way. I think whatever players that he have chosen, I think Donaki, Ivan Gonzalez, Glenn Martins, Ortiz, I think that's a very sensible decision. Even though he will feel bad for not keeping Angulo.
That actually makes a lot of sense, and for any young football enthusiasts, whether it's prospective coaches or players watching, that's a very great insight that you've brought in, because in the modern game, especially at this very high level, top level competition, club competition in the continent, you need all 11 players to be working equally hard all the time, especially if you're kind of the underdog in the fight. You're the new entrant in the scene, and any amount of lack of pressure, because you might see Ishan Pandita, for example, playing all of 60, 65, 70, 80, however many minutes he plays, without getting any touches on the ball, without seemingly having any impact. But the fact is, like you're saying, as the lone striker, he has to work hard, keep running, make sure the fullbacks are on their toes as well, and make sure that his team has an outlet as well. So a lot of work for the lone striker to do in that situation. And unless that striker also has the defensive mindset or the willingness to always help out the team in whatever situation they find, then gaps open up. And that's the amazing thing that we've seen from FC Goa across these 180 minutes, 2 matches plus injury time, that their shape and their organization has been extremely, extremely solid. You find these very talented playmakers, whether it's Brahimi.
But it wasn't. But if I have to say, it wasn't it wasn't a great save on the first match. Okay, first 15-20 minutes, Al Rayyan, the Qatari club, have got chances, but then they have learned. Juan Fernando and Clifford, they have learned quickly. I think they have done the analysis. It's a very good thing that yesterday, with almost the same level of team, not giving chance, even we on top of that we had 1 or 2 chances. So I think that's a very good improvement, I feel, because they were lucky, I feel, in the first 15-20 minutes in the first match. But yesterday, the whole game, I think that was compact. And even the last 2, even if we talk about the chances, we had better chance.
No, another important, valuable point, because the good thing that we see, like Jaideep is saying, the positives from playing a established kind of 11, an established shape, is that also game after game, we get to see how these players are developing, how their decision making is being impacted, and how they are performing. So I was asking, in fact, Fernando, after the first game, that despite except for those 15 minutes or so, all the pressure of playing in this big competition for the first time for FC Goa didn't really show from the players on the pitch. They didn't look very nervous. Of course, those first 15 minutes apart. And so he was saying, yeah, maybe it didn't look like it, but 1 hour before the game, when we arrived at the stadium, we walked into the dressing room, our hearts were thumping. If you saw the faces of the players, there was definitely tension, nerves were there. As you guys know very well, any big game leads to that sort of feeling. The adrenaline obviously is already pumping, but on top of that, you have the mental pressure and the expectations, etc. also. So from that first game, it seems that even more they have settled down. Would you agree that these young players, all of them very young players, I mean, whether it's the fullbacks or the guys playing in midfield, all a young lot, and they've kind of stepped up to that stage, not overdoing it either, not trying to play like a team that they are not. They're keeping to the plan and doing their job.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that they have improved, but these are the same players, like Jadipda said, these are the same players who has been playing. The one team, they don't change much. Almost the same 11, 1 or 2 changes. I think they have been playing all throughout the ISL. So they know each other well. They are gelling well. But like I said, when we try to overdo it, if you see the chances that they have got, the shortcut goal scoring chances they have got from our mistake, Gamma tried to overdo it a little bit. We tried to play that beautiful football. Then they almost got a chance. So now we know that where we are. We try and keep compact. That those are the things that in future we play more matches. These young players will learn. Gamma, Samson, if you think Romario, of course, Pandita, Devendra. These are the players that they will get a lot of experience by playing all these big matches. And I'm sure overdoing is something they have to be sensible. Overdoing by what? But when we lost 6-0 against UAE, we know that a few players were trying to play like ISL, from one end to the other end. So we are still not ready yet to play that beautiful football yet. So overdoing is something that we have to be very, very careful. But other than that, I think these Goan players, they are doing well. Of course, we still have a long way to go in terms of attacking all out and all. Those are different steps. So we have to go step by step, and we just have to wait and watch.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that, Jaideep?
Yeah, I am not going to add, but what Renedy said is absolutely right also. And another thing that the coach was able to, like you were saying, that in the UAE match, many of our boys look like playing an ISL match. So you have to give the coaching staff the credit. They were able to put in the head of the players of this thing, at least, that this is not an ISL match.
Yeah, you
have to do it in a different manner, and he did it in a way that everybody delivered. His boys did a good job. His boys has delivered to him. They have not let him down. So that's a very good thing. Like you said about Peter Angulo, Igor Angulo, who scored 14 goals in the league. See, he is of course, but the problem is that he had to strengthen his defense. He couldn't get away with one of the foreigners there. No way. And perhaps he also wanted a winger. That is also one of the reasons could be. But he knew where he lacks, not what he lacks. I won't say the word lacking. That would be unfair on these boys. He knew the limitations of his boys. To what extent these boys can do. And if I give these boys this much of task, they will come out with their best. So this is something which I really liked. And at the same time, I would say, Siddhant, I would say, again, I'm coming back to the same point, that when it comes to teams like Qatar, UAE, Oman, and all these clubs or national teams, with little bit of planning, we can do it. Anyway, didn't we beat UAE in 2001?
Yeah,
UAE was a cracked side. cracked side. They were world number 66 at that time. We were 122. And didn't we beat them? We beat them. Actually, we could have drawn the other match also. That Baichung got a red card in the 50th minute. We were reduced to 10 boys. That's why we were leading. And that was our best showing. We did not go to the second round just for 1 point. With 13 points, people would have gone to second round. We got 12 points from that group. 12 points, not 1-2 points, but 12 points from the group we got. So what I'm not going back to the past one again and again. I don't want to, but the thing is that we can do it. Only thing we have to plan it properly, which the FC Goa coach has, I think, has shown us to an extent that things can be done this way. That's a very encouraging point, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something that they stressed on quite a bit in preparation for the tournament. They had a bit of a camp in Goa before, immediately after the ISL kind of finished. And Fernando was also saying that, it's been over a month since we played our last competitive fixture. So in the first game, of course, some things will not go exactly according to plan, because the fact is that you haven't played competitive games. You don't have match practice as such. It's not like it would be in usual circumstances where the Champions League would be going on at the same time when the season was going on. So side by side, you'd have a break for it and then go off to play Asian competition and come back. I want to come to now specifically the performance of Edu Bedia, who was this sort of named the man of the match in the center of midfield. He's had a lot of the ball as far as Goa are concerned, kind of, directing play as such from a very deep role in midfield. Both the matches, Renedy, in the first game, the man of the match was given to Yassin Brahimi, who no doubt is a very, very special player and had probably had more possession himself than maybe FC Goa had as a team in that match. But the fact is that in the first match, that 0-0 draw, Al Rayyan didn't score a goal. And as an attacking player, if you don't get a goal, how does your name figure in the man of the match conversation? I don't understand this.
Yeah, brother, do not go with all this man of the match, or in football, people talk about, he was a captain, yesterday I was just reading about, captain doesn't mean anything. We need to have different leaders in some people, they don't talk too much, but they show by their game. So in every position, we need to have leaders. So it's the same as man of the match. We shouldn't take too seriously. There are many players who could have got. If you talk about Glenn Martins yesterday, the game that he have given yesterday. If you talk about Ivan Gonzalez or Donaki, even Brandon when he have the ball, not that bad. These people have played well. Edu Bedia, people, of course, yes, he is not. He didn't play bad. Also, he played a decent game. So this man of the match award could have gone to many other guys also. So yeah, we shouldn't take too seriously. And as a coach, or as a player, I never really concentrate on man of the match. Or it's a team game where it could have gone to many other players as well.
Yes, right. Renedy is right, because man of the match is one thing which has baffled me more than often, more than once actually. Over the years, I find in matches, Renedy will remember, Renedy, in the first NFL, they were giving some cassette player or something to the man of the match.
Tape recorder,
Tape recorder they were giving. Oh my God! And what all people were getting in man of the matches. And they used to have some selectors for selecting man of the match. See, I have nothing against them, but some of their selections used to be horrendous actually.
It's been Dada is right. Dada is right, because it's been given by one individual person. Why will we take so much seriously? As it is a team game, and there are so many. When we select a players, of course, yes, there will be some common decisions, but other than that, there will always going to be a different. But otherwise, I think 5, 6 of them have played. When you do well, when a team does well, you need 5 or 6 players to be on top form. then how you get a result, so it can be anyway. It could have gone to anyone.
Yeah. And so do you think Dheeraj also was one of the players in with a shout, because he had a fairly solid game, and the chance right at the end was a point blank open header, and his positioning was spot on, in that he turned when he had to turn to get his body in the right place where the ball, he anticipated it. It wasn't it was an anticipation save, not a short stop as such.
I think Dheeraj had a decent game. I feel, we cannot really do. I think he had 2 or 3 saves, which a goalkeeper should be in the position that way he was. It's just a normal position. Yeah. So, but when we do against Al Wahda, that it becomes much more better. If we do that against in the ISL or in I-League, the goalkeeper doing that, it's a normal stuff for them. It's a normal bread and butter for them. Absolutely. But just that doing against a better teams, it creates more, But yes, he is much more a matured player. If you see the first, because Goa played, we East Bengal and Goa, we played we drew twice, I think, in ISL. So when he came on loan, or when he signed for Goa in ISL, the first few matches he were not that great, but then he is getting better match by match. I feel he has improved. So I think the more matches, I think he has not been playing for a long period of time. So first few games he was shaky, but now I think, as we can see, that he is more composed, firm. I think he is better now. I think he only has to improve. But yes, the save that he made, I think it was few decent saves, but then he still have to go a long way. I feel. So I think he should improve more.
Any other individual performances or players that stood out for you, Jaideep, that you would want to talk about? Of course, the 2 fullbacks. I think you guys chatted at length about them in the last conversation.
Yeah. Apart from that, Brandon, I liked in this
Brandon
match.
Had much more impact on the game, I think.
He could have
scored than he did in the first game.
He was unlucky not to get a goal. That second half replacement that Devendra Boy had a lot of impact on the match. I liked him. A lot of boys, but Sheraton did a good job. I'm only talking about the Indian players. Right. I'm not talking about the foreigners. Talking about the local players, those who are son of the soil. These 3, I think, did a good job. Edu, of course, was marked very, 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 very strongly, because the other day he was making all the impacts. But yesterday they saw to it he doesn't get too many balls, too many balls. But again, Edu is one thing. When he was playing in the ISL, even I was at times thinking that why he has been given so many chances again and again. But now I realize when it comes to big matches, then how much Edu is needed at that point of time. So Edu also has an impact, but not too much yesterday. Day before yesterday, that the other match, that first match against that Qatar side, he was perhaps better.
So I'm going to ask you again, Renedy, with that coach's hat that you're wearing. 6 games FC Goa are going to get against these very good sides. You've already seen some of the gaps, like you were saying earlier. In terms of attacking, we have a lot of work to do, and even at the back. So at the back, in the sense, at the back, you have to remember what your focus is. You're not playing a competition of equals. You're not trying to play at the same level where you're playing at the ISL. So if you overdo it, and we've seen this 2-3 times, when whether it's I think it was Donachie who made a couple of passing mistakes in the first game. Dheeraj had a couple of missed passes, which gives the ball to the other team in the attacking third, and puts you in a spot because your players are off position, they're out of position there. And going forward, like Ortiz's decision, for example, when he had Brandon coming through on the left, he had the chance to give him that ball. It was a break, a very good counter, but he chose to take a long-range shot from outside the box himself, and it was off target. So these kind of decision-making processes or the impact, how do you think it will help these players to learn, to develop, to grow from the physically? Of course, we're seeing that they are fast, they're strong, and they're able to go for 90 minutes. but the gaps are somewhat mental as well.
Juan Ferrando and Clifford Miranda knows what our limit is. Like Zeruda was talking about, we as a coach, we really need to know what our limit is in last 2 matches, what mistake they have done, what good things they have done. Good thing that we know, like you said, that, we can fight till the 90 minutes. These players, Samson, Sheraton, these are all fighters. Left side back, right side back, Ivan Gonzalez, Donaki, Edu Bedia, who is good with the ball, Glenn Martins. These players, they work a lot. Even Romario, without the ball, the way he have ran, the way he have worked hard. But the only thing is, when they get the ball, are we that great? I think we still not. So I think we have to. They are, like you said, with better decision makings, we could have got 2 or 3 goals yesterday with better decision making. But decision making will improve, and I'm sure both assistant coach and the head coach will be talking to them. I'm sure they will be showing the videos that what they have done, so that things will get improved. But then third match, Persepolis, I feel it's a very, very good side, the champion side. So defending wise, I'm sure we have to keep compact, and we will surely fight. But then if we want to go ahead, and if we are too excited, thinking that we played draw, we played two draw, and with those great results, we cannot be too excited also at the same time, even though we want to be. With all the media coming, India have done the drew 2 match, this is the best team. But then if we are getting too excited, we will get punished. If we overdo it, we will get punished. So we have to balance. We have to bring that balance somewhere, like keeping in compact. Because in one day we are not, or in 1 week, or in one tournament we are not going to improve that much. So we all need to know what our limit is. According to our limit, we have to balance it up and play.
Yeah, fair enough. Jaideep, you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree with this is like some of the media, as he has pointed out, saying it's a great result. It's not a great result, it's a good result. Great result is something else. When you walk out with a victory or 3 points in your pocket, that is great results. This is good result. I'm not taking away any credit or trying to undermine anything. But as Renedy said, that you have to be careful. And again, of course, against Persepolis, you have to be very careful. As he said, that you will be punished if you're not. But that seems to be a very, very tough side. And we all will be looking forward to see that how FC Goa takes it to the next level. Because if FC Goa has to achieve a similar result against Persepolis, then I think, given their form, the way they are playing, I think they have to go to the next level, which I think they are capable of. Let us see where they actually go.
Yeah, about playing this top level league, or top level so-called Champions League. I think it's we cannot lose focus for a second. The moment you lose focus for a second or two, you get punished. So that's the best learning lesson by playing match after match. I think they Goan player are very, very lucky, and of course they deserve to be there because they were champion. That's why they're there, and they are going to, all the young players, this will be a best experience for them, and it's all the young players, not to get too excited, keep compact, and go on counter attack. And with Romario having that better decision, I feel yesterday, a few players, I think we could have played a way more. We are happy with the draw. The whole India is happy with the draw, the improvement we have shown. But with better decision making, with better quality, I feel that, because they are not sitting back. Those because with the big name that they are coming, and the moment if they sit back, it's very, very difficult to score. But the big name they are coming, they're all coming all out to attack, and there is so much of gap behind that we couldn't take chance yesterday. Of course, we hit the post and came back, but then there were a few more chances that we could have got with better decision making, with better technique. So this is a level up. We will get there someday, but we cannot skip. We have to go through.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I mean, the improvement can't come from 1 game, 2 games. Like we've been saying consistently, I think all of us, that it's a great step forward. It's good to be on this platform at this stage, and there's a lot to learn for all of us. Whatever role we play in Indian football, whether it's, even for the media and as journalists, the chance to watch more Asian football because Indian clubs are involved in the competition and all that will only help us to kind of increase our exposure as well to what's happening in the sport around the region, around the continent, and help us, do our jobs better. And it's absolutely, I think, the same for everyone else involved: coaches, physios, everyone, all the people in the backroom staff. Um, I want to look forward a bit to the game against Persepolis, because it's the last team in the competition, the strongest team in the competition. Of course, everyone knows they've been in the final of the Champions League last season, and again are looking to make a long run, because in Iran, football is, it's a big thing, and they take it very seriously. And Persepolis are one of the biggest clubs in Iran, several national team players, as we've said. A coach who himself has plenty of international experience, I think 70 plus caps. He's played for Iran as long as Renedy played for India, I think. So definitely the favorites. Despite whatever else we might say, if you guys were in the coach's spot, how would you be planning for that game? Will you stick to what you've done so far in the competition and your players, of course, allowing for wear and tear related changes? But apart from that, would your perspective, your objective be the same, or would you try to do something radically different?
I feel that it will stay the same in terms of defending. Do we have that attackers who we can go all out? No, we don't have that. We don't have that. And do we have that high level, top level play that we can go all out? No, we don't. So we stick to the same, like what they did. They were more compact than first match. So we will even more compact in the third match. So and wait for the chance. And we are just not ready to go all out. The moment we go all out, we will leave a lot of space behind, and a team like Persepolis, they will take advantage and we will get punished. So we have to be really, really careful. Like I said, not to get too excited. Just play as what you have been told, like last two matches. Why change when you are getting a result from the last two matches? Why change too much? And if we have interesting players, 6, 7 good attackers, then a coach can change a lot. It all depends on what we have. So we all know what we have and how much our Indian players or the foreigners can give. And coach for last 1 year, they have been together, Clifford Miranda and Juan Ferrando. So they all know the limits. So according to the limit, I don't think that they will change too much.
I guess we already have Jerry's views on how he would be approaching this and what he thinks of the strategy. So what sort of impact then, Renedy, does the tournament format have in this case? Because the games are very back to back. The 17th they played at 8 p.m. The next game against Persepolis is on the 20th at 10:30 p.m. That's this Tuesday. Of course, it's the same for all teams, no doubt. We're not saying that. But some tired legs, because we are FC Goa not holding the ball. They're doing a lot more running, a lot more off the ball work. They are under pressure constantly. So, there's a physical, perhaps also difference of these players who are used to playing a more physical game, maybe more physical leagues. So a lot of the players would be getting a little bit bumped around as well, especially guys like Glenn Martins, some of the strikers.
Yeah, thanks to COVID that we have to face this situation. But then again, when you have to play match after match in such a close days, that this is where our recovery period and the physios and the measures, it plays a very, very important role. It's all about how quickly can we recover. One good thing is at least we are playing in our home ground. That's the best thing. Nothing like playing in the home ground. Like if we played Syria in a team like Syria who almost qualified for the World Cup in Delhi. So it was an advantage for us. So it's the same way with Goa playing in the home ground. It's always an advantage. But of course, barring the home crowd is not there, but the ground, they know that ground really, really well. The weather, it takes time to acclimatize. And then recovery is such a big thing now. I'm sure the people, FC Goa and all the big teams in the world, they sign such a great people so that the players can get recover fast. So they must be working really on. No, unlike our time, recovery was not a great thing for us in nowadays. But now I think we have got many scientific people who are working to improve the recovery as fast as possible.
And I guess age is an advantage also, being most of our players being quite young. I think that your body is that much faster to recover, to get back to 100%.
Yeah, I agree. But then again, if you see, our players must be running way more than the others because we are defending more. So when you keep the ball position, I think you're not that tired. But when you are chasing the ball all the time, when you are keeping compact, I think you get tired really fast. But this last two matches, it must be in third match. I think the tiredness will surely show because you cannot play the same level for so long when you're not keeping. But of course they are trying to keep. I think it was a good football, yes. But then to defend what they have been doing, I think in the third match it will show. I hope that we don't have to see that. But then again, we are not the guys are not machine, so the few tired legs will be there for sure. But like we said, we have got many young ones, so maybe not.
Jaideep, looking at the entire team list, what do you see in terms of the difference between the starting 11 and the substitutes? Some of the players on the bench. We saw, like, already we've seen, for example, Sanson coming in instead of Xavier Gama, who is a regular in the ISL and doing well. So, like for like, we have some changes in some of these positions. But for example, if you need to take Martins off, or you need to take Bedia off, in those situations, and now we've seen another, I think, positive was Fernando bringing in Devendra Murgaonkar and taking Pandita off. So Devendra also has had time on the pitch. He's shown positivity. He's shown that he's willing to work hard and maybe try and take advantage of the chances that he might get. Do you think the bench strength that FC Goa have or don't have, whichever way your perspective might be, is going to play an impact as we get further into this 2-week-long competition?
So why FC Goa alone? Because it's a three substitution tournament. So I think he has his 14 ready, and his substitutions also he knows where to bring and when to bring. He has his situations ready well for bringing the substitutions. So I think it was free. If you ask me, I thought it was perfectly normal the way he played his team. He had his first 11 ready and his 3 substitutions ready. And according to situation, he is making some changes. Some of the key players who mentioned, of whether Glenn Martins and Edu coming out, that is something maybe done on emergency purpose. Maybe he is having more than one card, or for that matter, he is injured or something. Because some of the players he will play them for 90 minutes. Yeah. When you have a 3 substitution plan, then you have to have some players who will play for 90 minutes, and they are among them. So I think this is not a situation which is advantageous or disadvantageous for FC Goa. The situation is same for all the teams in the because none of the teams have come up here with playing too many matches because of the COVID-19 situation. Their exposure this season had been limited. Limited means to an extent in comparison to other seasons. So if there is an advantage or a disadvantage, it happens to all the teams.
Fair enough. I think unless either of you have something to add about yesterday's game or the game that we're looking forward to against the Tehran club Persepolis on the 20th, I'm going to move on to some questions if we have any from the audience. By the way, a lot of you guys are watching. Thanks for tuning in. We have, I think, when you guys did your last show, which I unfortunately missed out on, we had a live audience of close to 500 people, and today as well, like 300, 400 people joining us live, and several more watching the show afterwards. So thank you for your continued support, and thank you guys for taking the time to engage with our audience on a at least weekly basis, and now that the matches are happening maybe a little more frequently. But do still tell your friends about it. Share the show. We are not only live, we'll be on the 420 grams YouTube channel immediately after the show is done. So you can watch it whenever you have free time. Arjun Pandit is being missed very much, no doubt, because unlike myself, he's a genuine anchor. Knows how to bring the energy and ask the right questions at the right time. So we do miss him tremendously. I mean, and everything that he brings to the show, apart from, of course, his own tactical and other understanding of the sport as well. He is doing bigger and better things. There's an IPL double header on. हमारे लोगों को तो पता नहीं होगा, but वो भी चल रहा है.
But how can you say that it's a better thing, boss? What do you mean by?
I'm being sarcastic. Sarcastic. Yeah. No, better in terms of cash money. just like you had to take a bit of a sabbatical from the show. So yeah. So in that sense, so Pandit ji लेके आएंगे हम जब वो उनका IPL schedule next permit करता है. I think he's keen to join and he's watching all the games as well. So and of course he lives for the love that he gets from this 420 grams community. So जितना ज़्यादा आप लोग comment करेंगे पंडित जी के बारे में उतना ज़्यादा likely है कि अगले शो में वो वापस आ जाएं. इसके अलावा I think जो आप लोग सवाल पूछ रहे हैं regarding Sanson, Xavier, regarding Ishan Pandita, I think a lot of these things we have already covered in the close to 1 hour that we have been chatting. And, Renedy, Jaideep have brought their perspectives on all of these subjects to play. If there's anything else in particular, I can't really find anything more in terms of questions, guys. Sorry about that. Maybe a little bit, if you guys don't mind, we can talk a little bit about Adil Khan. He was brought in for the last 5 minutes or so of the last game. Do you think that was more in terms of seeing what his state is like and whether he'll be able to provide that kind of cover, whether it's as a defensive midfielder or as centre back, in case, like Jaideep was saying, any of those emergency situations arise? I think, is that the role that Adil is likely to play with FC Goa? Guys?
Is it for us?
Anyone? How do you?
Okay. Well, Jalita, do you want to say anything? Jalita, you can go on after that.
See, Adil. I think it could have been brought for a couple of things to waste some time, to spend some time. That could be one of the reasons. He could be brought in. I don't exactly remember the situation, frankly speaking. So I think he could, and he was FC Goa's #1 defender, not #1 defender. He was a regular defender in the team, but his form of late had not been very consistent. He was so I think, or because of the humidity, maybe one of the players wanted to take a break. That could be also one of the reasons, because the humidity is in Goa is really very high. And we have to admit the fact, in the first match, if Al Rayyan were not able to do to the extent they were supposed to do, humidity, I think, one of the reasons behind it.
Yeah, if I have to talk about Adil is an experienced player. He knows Indian football in and out. Many years that he have been playing. Not a great match against UAE in the last match. And I feel that it is very difficult for him to replace Ivan Gonzalez or Donaki, even Edu Bedia, even Glenn Martins. So he can either play on those two stopper back or the holding midfield. But those players, the players that they have right now, FC Goa right now, until and unless if anyone gets injured, it will be very difficult to come back to be on the first 11. So he have to wait for the chance. I think our experienced player, you need experienced player to do. There are many youngsters who he has a serious experience, but right now in the first 11, it's a difficult one.
Well, I was watching him on the sidelines a little bit, along with the other substitutes while they were warming up, while they were obviously watching their teammates perform, play. And he's very engaged with the younger players. You know, there might be a few years age gap, but but he seems to be off the pitch very engaged, pointing things out, talking to players about what's going on. So I think definitely that sort of role is very important, what he brings to the dressing room, to the larger sort of team camp. But fair enough, I have to say I'm in agreement that as far as Adil is concerned, currently making into the first 11 might be quite difficult. And he's looking more like someone who is as a supporting role in case a situation arises where, he's an experienced player can be brought in by some as the competition goes on, when we play Al Rayyan next or Al Wahda next, maybe Al Wahda would present FC Goa the best possible chance in their minds, at least, of getting that win that Jaideep was talking about out of this group stage. Even one win from the group will be I think huge for their confidence for Indian football as well going forward into the next season, because now Mumbai will play the Champions League and all of that. So yeah, I think we're all pretty much in agreement on Adil as well. We have completed our hours quota for today. I think we've covered most of the subjects. Thank you once again, guys, for taking out the time this afternoon. Jaideep, wishing you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope you stay healthy and the COVID passes. But for the rest of us, things are getting very bad outside. We are unfortunately in the same position that we found ourselves in 1 year ago at this time, not knowing what's really happening. And
I think we are in a worse position at the moment.
Yeah, probably worse, because we unfortunately haven't perhaps utilized the time best to prepare for what was going to come, despite the fact that experts, scientists, doctors around the world have been saying it for an entire year that we should have taken this time to prepare. But if you can, stay in. If you can't, if you have to go out because people have to work, earn a living, earn a livelihood, stay safe, wear your masks, try to be as physically distanced from each other as possible. We will keep coming to you with our footballing distractions every time there's a game that is of importance to Indian football. Please do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also find us on newslick.in. That's the website where we're doing written pieces as well. Jaideep regularly contributes written pieces as well. So you can check some of those out. We're also doing written pieces around the Champions League and various aspects of that. So thank you very much, guys, everyone, for coming in today. And we will see you again on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday, the 21st of April at 3 p.m., same time after FC Goa versus Persepolis FC of Tehran. Hopefully that'll be another good game, another good result for Indian football. And we look forward to talking about it with you on the next show. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Jarida. Take care.
Thanks, Renedy.
Thanks. Yeah, stay strong, Jarida. Siddharth.